Hi everyone, I'm Josh Crayley, and today I'm going to be telling you about why I think we should lower the voting age from 18 to 16. Now, if you're a teenager, you probably have to work a part-time job. And if you work a job, that means you're paying payroll and or income taxes. Now, I see this, people who are being taxed but don't get a say in the system. I see this as taxation without representation, which, if you know the history of the country, is something that the founding fathers weren't very fond of. Now, I believe we should lower the voting age because it would help the voices of young people be heard. It would give more taxpayers a voice in where their money goes. It would increase civic participation, and it would enfranchise a whole new generation of voters for long to come. Now, the last time the voting age was changed was following the ratification of the 26th Amendment in 1971, which changed the voting age from 21 to 18. Now, right here, this is a pamphlet raising advocacy for lowering the voting age. So it's been done before. Now, let's talk about why. Teenagers are taxpayers, like I was mentioning earlier. And one of the biggest reasons the U.S. colonies left the English monarchy was because they were being taxed without having representation in their government. People could be paying into the system for years without getting a say, and I believe that's wrong. Now, let's look at things that students have direct interest in that they're not getting a say in. Schools is the biggest one that comes to mind. A teenager's life revolves around school. They go to school for 7 hours a day. Then they'll come home and study, and then they'll go back and do extracurriculars. But students aren't getting a say in what happens to their public schools. The people who make those decisions are old. They're congressmen and they're governors and presidents. And the average age for a U.S. representative is 57 and a half, while the average age of a U.S. senator is 63, according to the Library of Congress. These people are old. And frankly, I don't think it's the best idea for decisions in schools to be made by people who haven't been to a school in 35 years. I think that young people should have a voice in what happens to their school because it impacts them and they should care. Additionally, young people are the future of this country. They'll be a lot longer than the people in Congress. They'll be around a lot longer than the people in Congress will. And there are a lot of issues facing young people that older people don't really have to care about anymore. And those things are like affordable college, affordable housing, healthcare, and the climate. They don't have to worry about them because, well, they're not going to be around for much longer. And a lot of these things, they're affecting young people, not them. They're too old to have to deal with it. They don't care. But there's a need for real change in this country that we just aren't seeing. But allowing younger people to vote will increase the number of people who care, and it will allow for positive change that we need to see. Now, of course, there are a lot of people who are indifferent to allowing 16 and 17-year-olds to vote. Mark Green, a representative from the 7th District in Tennessee, says that we don't allow 16-year-olds to buy a beer, and the decision-making is due to their age. Well, I don't really like that analysis because I think that 16-year-olds are more than smart enough to vote for someone. We allow them to drive a car, so what's the big harm in letting them vote? Additionally, I don't think many adults know what they're voting for. In a study done by Education Week, adults were asked to name the 3 branches of government. Only 39% of people surveyed could do it. Why do I think that is? I think it's because civics education needs to be improved on. High schoolers don't listen in civics because it doesn't apply to them at a time. Who cares about a class that they're never going to need? And I get it. It makes a lot of sense that no one would care in civics because they're not allowed to vote at the time they take it. What's the point? But if we opened up voting to the kids who are in civics, they'd learn, they'd care, they'd be more engaged because they'd get to be involved in the system at the time when they take the class. And I think it would increase civic participation, and it would just be better. It would keep us honest to our children and to the people younger than us who will be around longer than us. In conclusion, young people need a lot of things done for them, and it's time we got ourselves a voice. It will increase civic involvement long term. Now, a report done by Marcus Wagner called Voting at 16, Turnout and the Quality of Vote Choice, Wagner says, support of such reform argues that lowering the voting age would have positive impact on electoral participation. This is because young people under 18 are likely to still be in school and live with their families, two factors that have been shown to encourage turnout through a variety of socialization mechanisms. In the long term, this higher level of participation at a young age may then facilitate the early developments in the habit of voting. Of course, lowering the voting age is not only justified as a way to stop the decline in turnout. For example, it is also seen as a way to ensure that the interests of young citizens are represented in the political system. In short, it will increase turnout and it will give us a voice, which we desperately need. So, when you are given the chance to vote, when you turn 18, you need to go out there and you need to be involved and care. And by doing that, we can keep ourselves honest and we can make a better country for ourselves. Thanks.